Okay, folks, welcome to the September 12th meeting of the New London Board of Selectmen. As usual, this meeting is being recorded. First item on our agenda tonight is public comments. Do any of you have anything you want to raise that's not on our agenda? No? Fantastic. Next item on the agenda is discuss the future uses of Buker Hall. You may recall a month or so ago, on the 14th of August, the three of us began to discuss this issue and tossed around a few ideas. Subsequently, we've asked Kim to weigh in now and give us her thoughts, which we'll then toss those around and continue this dialogue throughout the fall. Kim?
Thank you. We've been talking about future uses of Buker for several years now, and there's been lots of really good ideas floating around. Most recently, I was thinking that what we should think about was sending planning and zoning over to Buker, because that department needs, they have space there now, but if we were going to put some department over at Buker, that would be the one to go. And I think I've said for many years that I think we need space for boards and committees. We have more and more boards and committees. Using Whipple all the time, having planning and zoning there closer to where the meeting is would also be a help. But then recently I've been thinking that breaking up departments introduces some inefficiencies that I think would be unfortunate. The departments in the town office all work together, whether it's town clerk, tax collector, finance, town administrator, planning and zoning. So I think that would present some inefficiencies, some problems. Not that it couldn't be done, but I think it would introduce some challenges. So then I thought, well, should we consider moving all operations from the Academy building over to Buker? As you probably know, the town offices used to be in Buker prior to the addition of the dispatching center and the court area. The town offices moved over there because the town acquired the Academy building. And so the idea was we can put the town offices over there and bring the police up. So I think that the town offices left because it was a better fit for the town offices to be at the Academy building, a building that the town wanted to save. It's a historic building, and I think you continue to support keeping the building. And so town offices moved over there. That was 2000. Now there's more space that, with the addition of dispatching and the court area, the space that could be used for town offices would be bigger than what it used to have before they left, before the 2000 addition was put on. So I think that's something you can think about. I've talked to people in the office, Will, and others, and I mean, this area, the parking is always a challenge. So we see that right off the bat as a challenge. Especially Will's office gets lots of people coming in, and we all know the challenges of Seamans Road. So that would be something you'd have to consider. I think if we did move all operations over here, you'd want to give town clerk, tax collector the current area of recreation, because at least that entrance there is the handicap accessible entrance, and so that would probably be the way to go. So I think that's one of the challenges. Then the other thing you'd think about is whether or not you want to keep the Sally Port on. I don't think the Sally Port's needed for town operations. You certainly might see other uses in town, but that would be one thing to consider. That could, if it was gone, it would free up some parking. I think there's enough parking certainly for the employees here and some visitors as well. But I think that the Seamans Road could be accomplished if we had signs that said something like Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, 15 minutes only, or something like that. Because I think you do want to make it so that visitors to the town offices have parking. So I think that's something you might want to consider. Then you'd say, okay, then we have the Academy building. What I would suggest you do with the Academy building is, we know that Archives wants to stay in the basement. Jim Perkins feels that that's the best place. And I I think you should stay there. He's put a lot of effort into the new shelving system that's down there, and it's awesome down there. But you could use the first floor potentially for things like archives to have displays or special events. Center for the Arts could have special events, or, where they have their wine and cheese night, where they have artwork displayed, et cetera. The second floor could remain meeting space, which I think, we have more and more committees, and Cara struggles to find space for people to meet. We can use the school, but it's not always available. They're very good about letting us use the space, so that's that's very helpful as well. But having the Sid Krug room for potential meetings, continue to have that, I think has some value. And then you'd have Lynn and Adam's office, which could be the space that I think we should have available for the many committees we have. Put a desk in there, and then each one could have file drawers and things like that. So, I think that's kind of a radical thought, and when I brought it up to other staff in the building, they're like, really? But you think about the future, how long will it be before the town has a building inspector? That's an operation that's going to take some space, and that person should be near planning and zoning. Ideally, they shouldn't be near assessing, because all those departments work together. So I think some thought should be given to that as well. So that'd be my thoughts. I think if you'd have to, as far as cost goes, I think initially there would be some renovation that's needed, but I don't think it would be an unusual amount, because there are offices there now, and that's what they'd still be needed for. You would have to consider an elevator if you decide to use the basement floor for something else. If it's going to be public space, you would have to put an elevator, to do the both floors. Right now, it's really not open to the public. It's police use, so. But those are some of the thoughts I have about it. I think that, you talk about the Academy building. If we increase and have a building inspector someday, I don't think you would want to think about adding on to the Academy building. It's a historic building. I don't think you would entertain that. If you did, you'd have to talk to the college, because they retain the rights to say no to changing the looks from Main Street. That was one of the requirements when we got the building. Not that I think that they would stand in the way, but I don't know that you'd want to change the look of, it's a beautiful building. It's an iconic building. I'm not sure that, and you can't go back. You have the church there. So I think if thinking about once the administrative offices are too big for the Academy building, what do you do? And, you've committed to keeping Buker. You've put money into Buker. It's offices now. So I think it could work, but there certainly would be some challenges. Again, the parking is, we all know it's a challenge. I think you probably saw some challenges yesterday. But with voting, Will would be closer to this space. We would be closer. Like right now, if you wanted something, if I didn't bring it, we don't have it, because your offices are over there. And so now that we use Whipple pretty much exclusively, having the offices near the place where you meet would be helpful. Again, not critical, but I think it makes good use of space and time.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Jen, do you want to dive in to that?
I thank you for thinking outside of the box. It's certainly something that I will definitely spend some time thinking about. So thank you, Kim.
Yep, my first response is the parking issue, and of course, it still doesn't take care of the fact that we share a driveway with the neighbor next door. It's interesting to think about taking the Sallyport down and adding more parking spaces there. But my other concern is that we've talked about the project to redo Will's office over there with the bulletproof glass and the this and the that, and expanding into your office. I hope you're not going to postpone that.
No, and I don't think we'd have to, because even if this happens, the police station, even if it moves, it's sometime down the road.
Yeah.
And even if that whole side of the building, Will's office and my office, was open as one, I think that it's perfectly fine. For the use that I'm thinking of, it could still be perfectly fine. I think the security features that we're going to put in, cameras and things like that, any town building should have.
Yeah.
And I think upstairs, if you think that this is something that is possible or you really want to entertain, then the upstairs room, maybe you don't, build a wall that's permanent. Like we used to have that, what do you call it? Like those doors, that's the wall that stacks up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the best, but it could be a way to keep, because that space, that meeting room is really helpful. You know, if smaller committees meet, it's kind of handy to have. But no, I would not say we put that off at all. And I don't think it would hurt the use, another use, to have that, to Will's area to be open and to have security glass, things like that.
Okay.
Anything else, BP?
No, I appreciate the suggestions and your thoughtfulness in talking to the employees and about what they'd like to have. It's been interesting over the last few years with a lot of businesses and things that, you know, my company is too, where we all work together and appreciate working together. Now we're all working remotely. We miss a lot of that. There's so much collaboration when people are all working in the same building together like that, so I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I think in terms of the timeline, we ought to, even with this discussion, recognize that assuming we got a positive vote at the town meeting in March, it would be another year before then all the investment in doing the detail work for a police station would take place, and then at least another 12, 18 plus months to construct it, and then at least probably another 6 months to move, and several months to renovate the space that they're coming out of. So, you know, we're clearly looking 3+ years out in terms of what we're talking about. But I think, you know, why we're talking about it now is because it's important with the police decision to be able to say to the residents of the town, and this is what we're planning to do on this schedule going forward. But, I mean, this is not, in some sense, why are we talking about it now? Well, we're talking about it now because it's part of a package of moves among the location of activities here in town.
Yep.
And I think that it's interesting on both of these discussions last month and now this month that the question of the Sallyport comes up, and I haven't heard much enthusiasm yet for how that would get used. I think a month ago, I posited that maybe the DPW could use it to store, you know, lawnmowers or snow blowers up at this end of town, but I haven't heard of any significant use, and it'd be interesting for you to ask your staff if there's some potential uses that they see for it, because I hear more and more discussion saying that maybe that would make this place a better place in terms of the site of the building and SIGH of the building than where it sits out there now. So that might be something you could pursue no matter what other solutions we have. I mean, I don't think either one of you have ever been in love with the Sallyport, have you?
No.
Particularly attractive.
Well, you know, with regard to the parking, if that were removed and the tower, that would significantly improve parking on this site. So,
Right.
I hate the way it looks, I mean, basically.
Well, and not only that, but standing outside on Tuesday, holding signs and watching the people parking far away and struggling to get in here to vote, it kills me every year when I see it. So it would be nicer for voting purposes if we had parking spaces that are closer, especially in the wintertime when we have elections.
Although we're never going to solve that problem in the volume that comes through as we're all sitting here. I mean, you're getting, 100, 150 people an hour, so that's for a light election. So
Yeah.
you're just never going to create parking here.
No, I had some conversations with Casey and Rose about ways that we could help some of these folks, the elderly voters that we have in town, that
Absolutely.
to get in here in a much easier way.
Yeah, the number of people with walkers and canes and wheelchairs, it was
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Anybody in the audience want to weigh in on this subject tonight? I know some of you were disappointed that we took it off the last agenda. No views, opinions? Okay, thank you, Kim. We'll keep weighing out on this, and it'll be a regular agenda item every meeting, so we'll try to keep narrowing it down, and meanwhile, we'll, at some point, going to start to, along with the police station, figure out what the renovation costs will be for one or more alternatives. Okay, moving on to new business. First thing we have is a proclamation for Arbor Day, which I will read to you. Whereas the town of New London is dedicated to the planting and preservation of trees on town property, and whereas the town of New London is certified as an official Tree City USA in recognition of our belief in the environmental value and beauty of trees, And whereas the Town of New London Public Works Department performed tree maintenance in conjunction with the Conservation Commission throughout the community of New London, now therefore the Board of Selectmen of the Town of New London do hereby proclaim Saturday, October 12th, 2024 as Arbor Day and renew our commitment to promoting trees which serve as a valuable town resource and a symbol of strength and beauty. Further, we urge all citizens to protect trees and woodlands and to plant trees for enjoyment today and for the well-being of future generations. Do I have a motion to adopt that proclamation?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
In the spirit of the same thing, having to do with trees, I remind you, as I did last meeting, that this Saturday, the Conservation Commission is meeting with the chestnut tree people. For those that are interested in helping plant chestnut trees around several areas in town, it's 8 o'clock Saturday morning at the Park and Ride. Any more information on the Conservation Commission's website. Okay, next item is we need to discuss a fall town forum date. We know the work of the Police Advisory Committee is proceeding, and sometime by the end of October, early November, would be a good time for us probably to have another session where we invite the town in for just a discussion of major items such as the police station and maybe this issue about Buker also.
Well, we met in December a year ago, correct? Because the students weren't here. Is that, maybe that would be the same time to do it again?
Yep. We have the Housing Commission that's going to have an event November 13th. So you'll want to be away from that.
Yeah.
So the Christmas holiday vacation for the college begins on Thursday, December 12th. So if we weren't suspicious, we could try to do something on Friday the 13th.
Sure.
Or, because after that, it seems to me, I forgot, in December, I think it was right after the students had gone home, the issue of getting into the holiday routine and so on, so.
I'd be okay with that.
Yep.
So, no any
Try for
reason?
that?
Give a try for
Ask them.
using the college's facilities on Friday, December 13th.
Okay.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is tax deeded property on Pingree Road. Kim?
So we, for non-payment of taxes, the town has a tax deed on the property on Pingree Road. I think I put the address as, what is it? Hold on a sec. 157 Pingree Road. So that is now in the name of the town of New London. What I would recommend the town do is consider auctioning off the property. The former owner is deceased, so that's, it's not a situation where a family's living there, and if that were the case, the town would try and work with the people to try and get the taxes paid up, but in this case, the former owner is deceased. The law allows the town to sell the property. We would have to give notice to the heirs of this person, giving them 90 days to attempt to pay all of the money that's due, and if not, then the town could auction it off. Most towns do auction off the property. It's the best way. It's the way to get the most money for the property. The town will then get the money that it's due to the town, all of the money, and the rest of the money will either go to the heirs or to anybody else that might have a lien on the property. But the town only gets the amount of money that's due the town.
Any discussion, comment? Kim? I'm Kim. Janet?
You know, it's certainly a last resort, and no one enjoys doing this type of thing. But obviously, we have a responsibility for the taxpayers in New London to take care of this.
BB?
Agreed. Pingree Road, is that the one that's down at the bottom of South Pleasant Street?
Across from the strawberry fields.
Okay, gotcha.
During this period of time, does the Department of Public Works maintain the house? Make sure.
We don't have to do anything to it. I mean, we could if we wanted, but there's really no need. It's probably been empty for a couple of years. I think there's been an heir or a child that's been there on and off, but we don't have to do anything to it. It's on the town's insurance, so it's insured.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to move to an auction of this property at 157 Pingree Road.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, not on the agenda, but we received this week the letter of announcing from Paul Lenahan that he needs to resign from the Citizens Committee, and we happen to have on file a application of volunteer interest from Tom Flynn, who lives on Snow Lane. And so if everybody's okay, in order to keep the vibrancy of the Citizens Committee going on, I would recommend that we replace Paul Lenahan with Tom Flynn. Any
Nope. Good, thank you. Thank you.
motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, Kim, your report.
Okay, I have communicated with the chair of the Budget Committee, and they have set their schedule. This was just finalized today, so I will send that out to all budget members, Budget Committee members, and selectmen. You have your all-day budget review on the 25th of October, so that, then the Budget Committee will start early November. That'll give us time to put the budgets together, the selectmen's decisions, et cetera. So that's gearing up. I participated today in the third interview for the New London Hospital CEO, so they're working hard to work to replace Tom Mannion, so that's going well. Will and I have spoken with Drew Edmond, and today Will gave me Drew's recommendations for the security upgrades for the Academy building, so we'll be bringing that to you. The Patriot Day 9/11 ceremony was held at the fire station Tuesday, and it was excellent. It was really nice. And I thought the students this year were really, the singing, I don't know what it was. I don't know if I heard it better this year or what. But anyway, I thought they were great. I just loved that ceremony, so it was very good. Thanks, Chief. There was a lot of work to put that on. And there was some construction people that came to it. I mean, I thought that was nice. There were a few of the workers that came, so I thought that was really nice. Well, that's good. Right, take their little break, and I thought that was, they were really interested. It was great, very good. And then today, we have received information that Twin Pines has filed an appeal with the Housing Appeals Board, that's the state board, and they are appealing the decision by the New London Springfield Water Precinct to deny them water. So we will see how that works its way through the process. I believe that Twin Pines is still talking with the precinct, and they're hoping that they can resolve the issue without the need to go here, but I think that they wanted to make the appeal to protect their rights on that. So we'll be hearing more, I'm sure, about that today, soon. You just got it today. So that's all I have.
BB, any meetings?
Nope, we haven't, the CIP hasn't met for a couple of weeks. Adam's working on getting the CIP plan put into the new software, and then we're going to start working directly from there.
Good. Janet?
The planning board had a meeting on Tuesday night, and one of the issues that came before them was a request by the outing club to add 3 lights to the parking lot, because, as we all know, it gets a little dark this time of year, and they still have soccer teams and all sorts of groups playing there. And we did approve it. They said that they will monitor when the lights are on, so there's no light pollution for neighbors. And there were neighbors there, and no one, everybody realized this was a safety issue. Then we had a tree cutting proposal on Lamson Lane, which was approved. And that was it.
That's it? Okay, thank you. Our minutes, August 28th and then August 30th also. The August 30th one was a very short meeting where we approved the MS1. The August 28th was also short since Kim wasn't here.
I move we,
Kara really appreciated that.
good job. You want a motion?
Yes.
I move we approve the minutes of August 28th and August 30th.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, upcoming meetings, for those of you that follow the list on the agenda, I might just note that the next meeting of the Selectmen on Thursday, September 26th, will start at 6:30, not 5:30. We will be meeting as sewer commissioners from 5:30 to 6:30 at the Sunapee Town offices for the quarterly meeting with the Sunapee Sewer Commissioners. Otherwise, also for those of you who like electric vehicles, The Kearsarge Sunapee EV Expo is on September 29th from 12 noon to 4 p.m. at the Historical Society siting. Otherwise, I believe everything that's on the list is accurate and will take place. Is there any other business to bring forward this evening? Okay, we will then sign the pay vouchers and other items, and that will be it for this evening. Thank you all for coming.
Do you want anything? You usually don't come to the meetings, yeah.